in this country. At the end of this project, at least 100,000 individuals and or households must have title or be in the process of working towards the acquisition of title to real property, a house. Very, very important.
The provision of 100,000 houses is a bold vision that requires the involvement of all stakeholders.
We are now expanding, broadening the space and inviting many BHCs across the country. Each and every one of you must become a Botswana Housing Corporation. Build houses if you can for our people. So you must become part of this movement. You must enlist, enroll your company, enroll your financial institution. I'm talking to the financiers, the banks.
The project, which is to be constructed in partnership with Botswana Housing Corporation and Ongos Botswana, will create 30,000 direct and indirect jobs.
Re ba boleletse go simolla ka bo Ongos go ya ko pele gore mongwe le mongwe yo hirwang ha a ba amogela living wage ya 4,000. Ha re sentse re ba akanya melao ka gore o tsa lebaka. Ha re sentse re dira morero mme di project tse disha tsa ministry wa rona ra re living wage is 4,000, no compromise.
We'll be upgrading the bulk infrastructure, the internal reticulation, and building 3,005 homes with various designs to suit people's needs, ranging from one-bedroom apartments to standalone three-bedroom homes. And this is all fit for the individual's pocket.
Gona le badiri ba makgotla a Setswana, gona le madiri ba ditleliniki tse pedi tse di nonofileng ya Gaborone West Clinic le a Junior Molefe Clinic. Ba tlhoka mantlo hela a le 140 nyana hela.
This project and many to come are expected to change the country's housing landscape. Monica Seswala, BTV-News, Gaborone.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Stephen Modise, says Nyangangwe Referral Hospital, Kasane Primary Hospital and Palape Primary Hospital are the most affected by the doctor's emergency call situation. Dr. Modise emphasized that government is dedicated to upholding human rights, hence they are engaging the Botswana Doctors Union to resolve the situation. Dr. Modise shared this at a news briefing earlier today in Gaborone. Korata Moranyani reports.
After last week's statement by the Botswana Doctors Union that ordered its members not to respond to emergency calls, a situation that is now reported to have affected some hospitals around the country, forcing government to seek alternative means. But despite this ongoing challenge, the Minister of Health, Dr. Stephen Modise, reassured the public that the government is working around the clock to resolve the situation.
We really had hoped that things wouldn't escalate to the point where we have to go to court. We would find one another, and we still believe we can still do so. All it takes is for our comrades to come back to the table. I mean, when you assume a very hard line and you say it's your way or the highway, that's very difficult for any negotiation. Director of Ceremonies, I'm fully aware that our doctors say they are not on strike, but we'll just be doing one call per month. We all know that one call per month is not what could keep our people alive. We're not saying that doctors should be exploited. No, we're not. In fact, no health worker or any worker at all should be exploited. That will be inhumane and utmost unethical. That will be a violation of the rights of the workers. As you all know, as the new government, we swear by our dedication to upholding human rights. If you take, for example, Princess Marina Hospital, most doctors are working as before, except at pediatrics and orthopedic wards, where some doctors have not been taking calls since the past Friday. Zabrana Psychiatric Hospital is doing well because all the doctors there are attending calls. At Nyangabwe Hospital, we also have some doctors who have not been taking calls, especially at medicine, surgery, and pediatric wards. Far, the most affected primary hospitals are Kasane and Palape primary hospitals. In Kasane, 6 out of the possible 9 have communicated that to the chief medical officer that they will not be doing any extra call, leaving only 3 medical officers to cover the calls.
Government through DPSM is scheduled to go back to the negotiating table this year to negotiate terms and other issues affecting public service.
Se se rang gore mo ngwageng wa 2025 goromente o tshwanela ke gore a boele ko tafoleng a ye go negotiate di salary and other conditions tsa badirela puso se leng gore re se sologetse gore se diragale mme bile se leng gore ke sone se nne bongaka ba kopiwa gore a kgannye ya rona e
While this issue remains unresolved, the Minister of Health shared that his doors remain open to continue engaging with the Doctors' Union to reach an amicable solution. He shared that it's not too late to find a middle ground to bring this issue to bed. Khorata Moranyane, Btv-News, Gaborone.
The director of Eurasia Democracy Initiative, a non-profit organization from Ukraine, Mr. Peter Zalmayev, is in Botswana to meet with relevant ministries and the media to discuss how the country can advocate for the end of the Russia-Ukraine war. Mr. Zalmayev says, as a human rights-centered government, Botswana should affirm its commitment to supporting the end of the 3-year-old war, which has devastated Ukraine and displaced millions. He said Botswana can do so by voting against the war in future United Nations resolutions. Furthermore, Mr. Zalmayev said the media can also advocate for the end of the war by covering it fairly and objectively. He said he plans to visit other African countries to ensure that people are reminded that the war is still ongoing and can only end with the support of the international community.
I think the most immediate way to help is by voting in the United Nations, at the General Assembly. There should be no doubt as to where, I think countries, whose side they should be on, because even if they're engaged in economic relations with Russia, and it's not my place to tell them what they should not do, or any other countries. They develop their own relations with Russia. For example, Namibia recently signed the other day a nuclear power agreement with Russia. But you have to at the very least, make sure that you know what's right and what's wrong. And if there's a voting at the General Assembly against the aggression of one country against another, I think it's a no-brainer that you vote against the aggression, because otherwise it sets the precedent. Very, very, very dangerous precedent for all other parts of the world, including China versus Taiwan, Venezuela versus Guyana, all these potential territorial problems and the claims of big countries against small countries and their desire to just, conquer small countries. That opens a Pandora's box, right? If Ukraine is allowed to fail, if Ukraine does not prevail in this war, the precedent it will set will be felt for generations.
Some farmers in the Ramoholo farms near Habane are of the view that efforts to reap a good harvest have gone down the drain due to theft, stock borer worm and pied crow. In an interview with BTV-News, the farmers say they were expecting a good harvest of watermelons and maize, which they had hoped to sell to improve their livelihoods. Monica Sutwaila has more.
The 2024-2025 ploughing season has had good rains, which gave farmers hope of a good harvest after a few years of drought. The high expectations of farmers in the Ramoholo farms have vanished into thin air due to thieves who continue to steal watermelons and a pest called stock borer which damages maize. Farmers say they are only left in large amounts of beans and leblab.
Re bona magapu gore nya magapu ke ana ga isa a butswe mme a tla a butswa ga re ntse re ga morogo ya no ga re tsamaya mo re ntse re ga re bona magapu a thubilwe go ribegilwe re ga khamala re ba gape re tsamaya mo tshimong re tla gape le ga le go thubilwe mme mangwa a sa butswa be re le mo gore batho go mone ba tsene mo tshimong re bona ditlhako mo morago ga malatsi gape be ke e latelang gape ga re tla kwano re tlhela no ba dile wesa ya no ba thubile ba nole ba la isitse ga gona le ga ile sepe se mo bona go re le mo go yone ke ra gore ba getso tota ke rena le mathata go kwana re senyediwa ke batho
re limile mmidi le mabele bate ka no go le letsatsi thata di jempa re kgonne go bona mabele thata ke bona kgonne go itshireletsa mmidi lone o sa lo shile tota le dinao magaga be a dingalo re le ka go alwantsha ka bodintjana mme ona a dingalo tota kana go kgone go bona halale go time go batla nna o patrola mo tshimong ga bo ipotoka re etsosa ka dintja.
Ms. Monamosidi says thieves visit her field on an annual basis, defeating her farming efforts.
Tota ke ripote dio makgetong yana no mme go sna ke sa tseo tsie ya no le mo gompie go bana ke ne ke sa ripote yana ke bona gore ga gona mosola.
Diremogolo farmer is in distress over watermelon theft. The prospect of a great watermelon harvest by the farmer is now a lost dream. Monica Satswaila, BTV News, Diremogolo Farms.
You're still with BTV News at 9. One of the Rara Apostolic Church in Zion leaders and also member of Parliament for Mogoditane West, Mr. Galena Wabo Lekau, has urged leaders to be the voice of their churches. Mr. Lekau encouraged congregants to advocate for their churches, saying one of the major challenges of Zion churches is shortage of land for worship. During the Easter holidays, all church branches across Botswana gathered in Maun to celebrate the Easter holidays. Rara Apostolic Church in Zion was founded in 1988 by the late Bishop Masilo Manaka in Tsitsijwa and started operating upon registration in 1989.
Yaanong nako e gorogile ya gore re supe gore mo parlamenteng go na le baruti ka go buelela dikereke tsa rona. Dikereke tsa rona ga ke na go ntsha kereke ipe ka letsologolo mme bontsi jwa dikereke yone ya rara ko e kerekang teng ke ha ile gore one e kupile hela mo mothong gore ke kopa re nna mere kerekela ha gona ditsha ha gona ditankana ha gona metsi ha gona motakase ha dikereke tse di tsenelang teng re thasetswe ke se gajaja gate katse e gongwe le gongwe mme tiro nngwe e tona e ke itseng ke gore bangwe ba baruti ba rara ko ba nnang teng ba tsere bana mo mekgwatheng ba nna le bone e se bana ba bone mme gone mo ka bogone ke yone tiro ya kereke go hapha batho mo mebileng.
Dikereke ga gona ga di phuthegelang teng ga bana ditsha tse ba di hilweng ka ga molaong. Ke dumela gore jaaka di land body tabe di sega mo lebakeng le le khutshwane ko ditoropo le mo metseng ya selegae ra go iphithela re le di branch tsa rona tse di senang ditsha ko dikgaolong dingwe le bona ba wetse mo category ya gore maina a bona ka bidiwa ba go nna le diploto ka ga molaong ra ga re phuthulogile.
Some tourists from Germany have pointed out that including Mugoro rides in tourism packages could help generate income for the country. They shared the feedback while visiting a tourist site in Gaoha village in Okavango during the Easter holidays. During their trip to explore the beauty of the Okavango Delta, the tourists were treated to a Mugoro ride experience. Tiny Sukudu reports.
This is the place where tourists are taken to explore the beauty of Okavango Delta and the river by Mokoro rides. The place in Kauha village, just few kilometers from Samichima village, is a popular destination for international tourists who visit Botswana for recreation. During these Easter holidays, tourists from Germany visited this place and acknowledged that Mokoro rides are exciting and lucrative.
Ich bin völlig begeistert von Botswana, weil Botswana sehr freundliche Menschen hat. Im Unterschied zu Südafrika keine Rassentrennung. Was mir hier sehr, sehr gut gefällt, ist die Weite.
I enjoyed being in Botswana. They are great people. I was impressed by animals and Mokoro experience. And my visit to Tsodilo, I encourage people to visit Botswana.
Fantastischen Zeichnungen, die so alt sind, dass man es sich kaum vorstellen kann. Ich kann eigentlich nur jedem empfehlen, nach Botswana zu kommen, zu den netten, tollen Menschen.
Yeah, it was my first time on the river and on the boat, and it was very, calmy and cozy and relaxing. And it was very nice to be here with the good weather in Botswana with a lot of animals and a lot of nice people.
One of the tourists encouraged others to visit Botswana as it offers unique and diverse safari experience.
Ich empfehle, nach Botswana zu kommen, weil die Menschen alle so nett
Botswana
sind.
people are very lovely and kind. There are a lot of activities here like boat cruise, game drives, so I encourage you to visit Botswana.
Jeepfahrten, also ich empfehle es.
Botswana is committed to sustainable tourism, benefiting local communities and preserving the environment.
Governmente o batla gore re itirele madi re le ba dikgwebo potana.
The government encourages us to make a living as small businesses, and as businesses we are delighted to make income from this tourism industry, but we are clueless on how to market ourselves to attract tourists from outside, so the government should be closer to us to give us skills on how to run this kind of business. The local tourism industry in this area is committed to promoting and popularizing Mokoro Drive tourism to generate income and improve the lives of the people of Chauga and the surrounding areas. Tiny Tugudu, Btv-News, Chauga.
Small business owners have hailed the inaugural Kanaku horse race for the economic opportunities it brought to their businesses over the long weekend. They expressed this during an interview with BTV News recently at the Kanaku horse race, which was held in Kanaku. Naumuduma reports.
Multitudes of people from Waketse, Kweneng and Kalahari district converged at Kanaku village for horse race entertainment. This village is located 9 kilometers from Mabutsane and is considered an economically disadvantaged area, resulting in scarcity of resources and limited opportunities for development and recreation. However, some small businesses have leveraged this situation to turn challenges into opportunities. We wanted to bring our services here, and we have made more bookings during this event than we regularly make per day in Gaborone. Massage can be done everywhere and by anyone.
I think it's because of we offer our services from.
Meanwhile, the owner of Kopitseng Catering Company, Ms. Ladies Musele, expressed gratitude for the opportunities presented by the horse race, noting that regularly she attends horse races and agricultural shows throughout the country. We benefit a lot from horse races since a lot of people attend. I make a clothing brand named Afrocentricity. I brought my brand here so that it may grow across the country. Business owners employ the host to ensure that there is enough space for picking and to strengthen security. Neo Mudungwa was on television. Kanaku.
In international news, the U.S. is set to drastically reduce its diplomatic footprint in Africa and scrap State Department offices dealing with climate change, democracy and human rights. The executive order, framed as a strategy to cut costs while reflecting the priorities of the White House, also lays out measures to slash U.S. soft power around the world. The biggest change would be organizing U.S. diplomatic efforts into 4 regions: Eurasia, the Middle East, Latin America, and Asia Pacific, with no equivalent focus on Africa. The current Africa Bureau would be eliminated and a special envoy office for African affairs would be in place. Emphasis in Africa would be placed on counter-terrorism and strategic extraction and trade of critical natural resources. Tata Jose More is standing by to give you sport.
Thank you, Khomotso Mapani. Welcome to the last lap of Botswana Tonight sports segment with me, Tato Khosimorim. Here's our leading story. The All-Africa Junior Golf Challenge team coach Mpho Kilusuwang says he's confident that his youngsters will bring home positive results as they've been preparing thoroughly for the annual tournament. The team left for Tunisia on Monday. Kagiso Molelekwa.
Kilusuwang said all 5 players are highly deserving for this opportunity and they have full confidence they will represent Botswana with distinction.
No, they're ready, as much ready as they could be. We must be aware of that 3 of our team are currently in golf schools, so they're playing golf almost every day, and 2 of them are being coached here in Botswana. We did our best, I think, with the time that we had. Botswana is the first time in the last 4 or 5 years we had camps, and we had a series of camps where we really drilled the team on mechanics and all the game plan, how to prepare a game plan, and I think the team has learned a lot. They can't be more prepared than they are currently.
The All-Africa Junior Golf Challenge is expected to provide young golfers with valuable experience and the chance to compete at the highest level.
The top 3 countries qualify from this championship to go and play in Japan in June. So as a country, we've never really smelled that, and we believe that we actually get the best team that we've ever put as a country from a junior perspective.
Firstly, we worked on game management. We learned how to manage ourselves in the course, and we learned about how we hit our stock ear gauges, how we play around the course. That's one of the key moves actually. That was one that will actually help us, how we plan around the course. And one other key was how we actually learn how to hit our clubs. So when you get a certain yardage, you get how far or how wide you need.
I feel like I'm well prepared for this tournament. I've been practicing my hardest, and I think I'm going to perform well, and I'm just going to try and make my country proud and my family proud. I tend to achieve just to really play my best, make the final group of the tournament. My aim is basically to win. I don't want to go there and just aim for top 10. So that's my mentality. Just go there and win and try and beat my competitors.
The 5 junior golfers team comprise of 3 boys and 2 girls. The boys team includes Tumo Makgate, Letsoke Seabetswe, and Moana Chokwe, while Maru Chokwe and Tudiso Nyadile make up the girls' side. The All-Africa Junior Golf Challenge is slated for Tunisia from the 22nd to the 27th of April. Kagiso Molelekwa, Btv Sport, Gaborone.
In chess news, the defending champions of the Metropolitan Chess Champions, Women FIDE Mestam, Natali Banda and the International Master Providence Wa Tlotsem have qualified for the finals of the tournament after outstanding performance in the qualifiers held in Palape over the Easter holidays. Banda emerged the winner of the women's section after collecting 6.5 points from 7 rounds of the tournament, while Wa Tlotsem dominated the open section with a tally of 5.5 points from 7 rounds of play. Huitsuane Sakeng compiled the report.
Following a grueling 3-day semi-final this past weekend, 2-time Metropolitan Chess Championship champion Banda came up tops, winning 6 games and a draw to emerge top of the ladies section table with 6.5 points.
It was very difficult. I am the national champion, so I'm hoping to defend my title. But I thought that, not that I thought that the players would be weak, but I thought that it would be much easier. But I realized that everyone is strong, everyone is preparing, and I finished with 6.5 points out of 7. I was hoping to have a total score, but I still think I did well, and I'm working towards winning the finals, which will be in Gaborone in 2 weeks.
Other ladies who made it to the finals include Shanal Malpu, Laone Moshoboro, Thandi Bonno, Thapelo Francis, Atlam Moseu, Khomotsonda Chipiwa, Maya Otimile, Judith Motokatse and Boitumelo Radikoro. In the men's section, 7-time champion Wa Tlotsem won 4 games and drew 3 to accumulate 5.5 points, which qualified him to this year's finals.
The guys are playing strong, and there's so many young players who are coming up pretty strong, and also I've been playing some tournaments regularly lately, so I'm trying to ration the openings and just change the style. So maybe by the time we play the final, I won't be worn out or maybe out of preparation. So,
according to the organizers of the qualifiers, which attracted 42 chess players, all went according to the plan.
They were excited about the venue.
The competition went according to plan, as our players performed exceptionally well. A young star like Tuto Mpene did very well to proceed to the finals for the first time.
For the first time. He's a young boy who is 16 years old.
Metropolitan National Chess Champions will come to a close when the 10 finalists in both the ladies and open sections face off to decide the champions from the 8th to the 10th of May this year. The winner of the ladies section, on the other hand, will be awarded a 9,000 cash prize. The winner of this year's open title will walk away with 11,000 pula cash prize. Huitsone King, BTV Sport, Palape.
And lastly, the organizer of the first edition of the Kick Out Violence football tournament, Donald McCarthy, says their mandate is to combat and raise awareness on gender-based violence issues. McCarthy said this in an interview with BTV Sport on the sidelines of the tournament held at Mulapolola Sports Complex on Saturday. Still at the event, Mulapolola South MP Shimamo Nageng applauded the youth for standing firm against gender-based violence. Abigail Samson reports.
Mr. Makhatla says they use football as the driving force for their campaign because sport unites people. We sat down as youth in Molepolole and decided to come up with such initiative because we believe that it will go a long way in combating gender-based violence, especially in Molepolole, where we have a high number of GBV cases.
This is the beginning of good things to happen. This is going to be an annual event. It will be bigger and bigger every year. Participation in every study team, all local footballs, the tournament individually, spread a message.
The tournament was sponsored by different stakeholders from state and private organizations who pledged full support in the fight against GBV, as it has been a burning issue in the country. Our intention is to support initiatives such as this one, especially since they bring together the youth to share ideas which can help in the fight against social ills.
More stadium more sports complex
It is so sad that incidents of GBV are on the rise these days and have left many homes without peace. That is why, as Vono Technologies, we saw it necessary to support the youth so that we can also have a contribution in spreading awareness.
Support the campaign.
The tournament, which was headlined by a game between Mexican girls and GU ladies and ended 3-1 in favor of the latter, also attracted 6 men's teams. Abigail Samson, BTV Sport, Mulapolole.
That's how we wrap up Botswana Tonight Sports update from Botswana Tonight Sports desk this evening. Thank you very much for the privilege of your time. Before we part ways, a recap of our leading stories.
They will not target 3,000 housing development project to give citizens the opportunity to own decent and affordable housing. Nyangagwe, Kasane and Palape hospitals most affected by the doctor's emergency call situation.
The All-Africa Junior Golf Challenge team, which left for Tunisia on Monday, confident to bring home positive results.
Father Khosimori bringing us to the end of our news bulletin this Thursday evening. In sign language was Topota Posa, Btv-News, Ikanyarona.
The Ministry of Health and indeed the new administration We are determined to ensure that every Motswana and resident of this country receives quality healthcare services regardless of who they are and where they live.